I really hope the title of this video does not come back to haunt me. Bro, I swear, every game of this series, there has been like a stretch there where it goes from, it's looking pretty good for the Celtics to, oh no, what's happening? This being by far the scariest example of that. And now they're up 3-0. I am not going to get ahead of myself just yet, but yes, my Celtics are up 3-0, and it feels good. To talk about that game for a bit, I thought in the third quarter, the Celtics played like basically a perfect quarter of basketball, okay? And then things went south, but let's start with the third, featuring Tatum screening for Derek White, which is, I will always say, my favorite thing that they do. And then it's like, you know, recognizing that Derek Lively's planted himself in the paint and Jalen's open in the opposite corner, which was something Dallas was leaning on a lot in this game. Like, we are daring them to make the skip pass or make the million swing passes to get it to the other side of the floor. And then Tatum backs down Hardaway a few times, and it's a bunch of swing passes. Jalen open three over Derek Lively. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Earlier in that second half, where the Mavs were really trying to get adventurous with like Gafford or Lively just playing off of dudes as much as they can, trying to get back to what they were doing in earlier series, right? Because against the Celtics, it's tougher, more spacing. But Porzingis is out, so it's a little easier now. Anyway, you got like Gafford playing off of Drew, and then so Drew is like catching and driving past him for a finish. Or another time where Gafford, he got kind of caught up where he thought the swing to Drew was coming because the ball was at the top of the key. And then I think it was Tatum who drove at the same time as that happening, so he was able to get a score. I mean, Jalen and Jason just continued to drive and just, that was the biggest thing in this game. It's been the biggest thing in the series. Keep on attacking, going downhill. But then, that fourth quarter happened where, look, I thought the Mavs on-ball defense was definitely good. I mean, there were some possessions where, like, PJ is aggressively switching onto Jalen or to Jason, and you know, Lively's helping off of Horford or just straight up ignoring him in the corner sometimes, and just they're packing the paint as much as they can. Josh Green had one possession in particular, I remember, where he was just playing tough on-ball defense on Tatum, and it was turnovers. It was the worst habits of the Celtics. It's the, you know, taking too long to get into sets, or just too many ISOs, or too many step-back threes, or whatever, and obviously you're going to be, you know, prisoner of the results with that thing, but like it just wasn't looking good for them at all in that fourth quarter, right? And then the other end, you know, you got Kyrie, you know, pull up two over Drew. Drew fouls Kyrie on a three, or the one of the few times where the Celtics like were a little more aggressive with the help on Luka, where Horford came out of the corner on PJ, and then PJ makes the three, and then it's like, oh my god, this is actually going to happen. I'm going to have to do the whole, like, how the hell did they blow that game? And then, look, Drew had an amazing play under the rim, where there's like three Mavs on him, and the pass that he makes, attacking a Hardaway to Derek White, for that three was a really tough pass. You had Tatum with that one play where he muscled Josh Green and Kyrie around the rim for a dunk, and it was like a off-ball set for him to get it on the move from Derek White on a cut, and I swear Derek White threw the pass like half a second too early, and I was like, oh my god, another turnover, this can't be happening. But then he got the dunk, and I was like, oh my god, thank you. And then I think Jalen also had that long two over Hardaway as well, and then of course we can't ignore Luka fouling out, and I'll just say this, okay? As an NBA fan, obviously I would like to see Luka out there for the whole game. As a Celtics fan, I mean, do you think I'm going to complain if Luka fouls out? The history of the NBA would tell us that for the star player at home in a must-win Game 3 to foul out, you gotta really foul out. So take that for whatever you will. And yes, in that fourth quarter, there was one play where Tatum had his hand on Luka's back. Should have been a call, was not a call. So yeah, for whatever all that meant, I don't know. Talking about officiating on the internet is scary. It just brings out the bloodlust in NBA fans. So I don't know. As far as like the overall game, I mean, look, the Celtics game plan, I mean, it's been talked about enough, right? They got the wings on the bigs, Gafford or Lively, making those action switchable with Luka, leads to mostly Tatum on Luka a lot of the time on these switches, and they are trying to not get super aggressive with bringing multiple guys to the ball. They are saying to Luka and to Kyrie, who was much better in this game, and we'll talk about Kyrie in a second. I thought he found himself in some better matchups throughout the game and eventually started making shots over Drew, but basically it was, okay, Luka, you're going to make some of these. Okay, you're going to make some shots over Tatum or Hauser or Pritchard or Tillman or Jalen or Drew or Derek White, whatever. You're going to make some of these, no doubt about it. But we believe that we will hold up well enough on enough of them. And, you know, that's Pritchard having a great defensive possession on him one time. I thought Hauser did one. Tillman had, like, multiple great one-on-one possessions on Luka. Luka got him a couple times, too, but okay. Tatum had a great contest underneath the rim on Luka later in the game. But again, like, Luka scored on Tatum a number of times. He had some blow-bys on him in the first half especially. They're betting that the math is going to say, you didn't do that enough times to beat us, combined with the fact that now your teammates are not just getting wide-open corner threes all day. And again, because the wings are on the bigs, you know, you're not getting a bunch of lobs all day either, right? But, as I say that, they sprinkled in a couple of we're going to throw multiple bodies at Luka. One led to that crazy pass to Josh Green for that 3 in the 4th. Another one, like I mentioned earlier, was the PJ Washington 3 in the corner where Horford came over off of him. And so Luka for the game, 11 for 27. The Celtics, they will take that all day. I mean, they're up 3-0, so they're not going to complain too hard at this point. So it definitely got scary there by the end. But there was also a couple plays where, like, Drew would get a little aggressive in playing off of, I don't know, maybe Derek Jones Jr. or whoever, to where, you got an extra body on Kyrie who's then kicking it out or whatever. But let's talk about Kyrie. I thought early in the game, the first play of the game for Kyrie was like a pin down to get himself open and attacking, and that's cool. A little different of a look besides let me just ISO Drew Holiday, which is very difficult to do, right? Because in the previous games in the series, like he's trying to go with Jalen, trying to go with Tatum, trying to go with Derek White or Drew, it's just not working, right? In this game, I thought it was a few more times where Kyrie's going at like Horford on a switch, or Tillman, who's not all the way up on a screen action at the top of the key for a pull-up 3, or it's going to Hauser a little bit, and then maybe through those things happening, he was able to get himself going a little bit more, then he was able to make some tougher shots later on over Drew, which is the tougher assignment, of course. Now, defensively, Luka, okay, yeah, he had some bad plays on defense. He had one time where he was playing Sam Hauser in the corner, and he basically just kind of forgot he was there, to where Hauser got a wide open 3. There was like no actual action on the play, he's just open for 3. One time where he lost Jalen on a cut where Horford had the ball in the post. Of course, the huge Jalen dunk at the end of the 3rd, that was off of Luka finding himself on the wrong side of the screen action, where they put him in the action, of course. And just to talk Tatum and Jalen a little bit more. So, again, both of them did have contested 3s that were frustrating to watch in this game. Yeah, 4 for 13 from 3 for Tatum and 2 for 9 from 3 for Jalen. But when it came to the drives, as well as just when they could get open catch and shoots, I thought that was much better. Like Tatum getting that relocating 3 where Jalen was attacking Luka in the corner off of a catch and drive. Another time where Jalen just basically puts his head down, and after he gets Exum on a switch and just goes downhill immediately, which that one led to him going back to Tatum, who then drove off of that, which then became him drawing the foul on Exum because he was down there from guarding Jalen. You had Jalen, a hard drive at Kyrie. Tatum, one time, got by Hardaway on a switch, and Gafford was right there at the rim, and Tatum just kind of finished around him anyway. Just keeping up the drives as much as you can, and even then, again, it got very dicey in that 4th quarter where the offense was looking rough for some minutes there. But yeah, man, they're up 3-0. I don't really want to get all, tell the story of the Celtics over the last 10 years thing or whatever, because they're up 3-0. They have not won the series. So I figure for this one, we just kind of keep it to on the court. So yeah. Also, that Tillman 3 was crazy.